Well, we could go miracle mode. Crazier things have happened in Rocket League.
Yes.
Turtle, but Faze, they usually don't let miracle mode happen on their watch.
Miracle mode, it might be out of their hands though. Okay, this is the RLCS. Craziest things have always happened in this. Okay, no. Listen, Jorby.
Oh, you're saying the air? You're saying
there's something in the air. There's something I'm sniffing. I'm sniffing something, and I hope it's not you through this call that we're in.
Water turtles. Don't drink. All right.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh,
wait.
No, Gimmick!
This is not what I sniffed, Jorby. This is not what I was anticipating. This can't be the best start. What is happening?
Oh, Gimmick turns off on the 50 to play Shadow, and he goes to try to dodge under that ball to punch it above the crossbar, but it was going too fast. Mist got too much power going towards the net, and he couldn't make it happen. Mist forces the own goal to start the game.
What a crazy start, too, and obviously the most ideal one for FaZe Clan. And talking about the mental game before we get in here for FaZe Clan, now we can look at the mental game for Team Axel. That is a tough way to start, but hopefully they can shake it off. This is going to be a long series, best of 7, and a much-needed win. Team Axel, you heard somebody talk about it. They've got to win the entire regional just to try and force a tiebreaker situation up against G2. So a long road ahead of them, but it all starts here with FaZe Clan.
You got some long-standing players on this Axel roster.
Yep.
Gimmick, chief among them, been playing since season 4 or 5, back before he was even in, I don't even know if it was 5 or 6. I'm losing track of it, it's been so long ago. But Gimmick,
at this point, this man is just a veteran. He's just simply put a veteran. He's been in this situation before. He's had his back against the wall several times. So I don't think there's any question as to whether or not he can do it. It's just obviously going to be a mountain to climb if you're facing up against FaZe Clan, who are obviously one of the best in North America. And they're showing why here with this shot from Typical, and of course the aggression from First Killer to open up the shooting lane. I think you got a bump on Ajax on the backboard, and then still continued forward to try and mess with Toasty.
Yeah, Ajax, he rotated back. He had no boost. He was going for the corner boost. First Killer took that from him. So Ajax tries to get on the wall to defend, but First Killer wasn't done and just kicked him out of the play. Which Ajax could do on that play when no challenge came from Axel. His Gimmick gets the save. Ajax gonna sit close by. Works out for now, but they're already facing so much heat from FaZe. It's First Killer. Loses that 50 to Toasty. He puts Typical in front of the box. He makes the first touch, and Axel strike right back.
They were dealing with so much pressure, but one good 50-50 from Toasty where he obliterates First Killer on the challenge, and then he still gets the follow-up off the backboard. The hustle from Toasty to create that lane and set up that shot, really what made that play special. And Team Axel, they thought maybe they'd get obliterated in the first game, but they bounced back rather quickly.
And Gimmick hits the 50, and he can't quite wrap around onto the ball. Toasty, nice bounce off the ceiling for him. Pass over to Toasty, and back to Gimmick. Shot, saved, missed, and Typical. Both getting FaZe the defense. Gimmick slows it down. How about Axel's pressure? Oh, Gimmick just lost control of the catch.
One thing I like about Axel so far is they have no fear to push up and extend all 3 players, and they're also willing to and have the ability to recover. They can get back on the defensive side, rotate in very quickly, which means that if they throw 3 players forward, it's not too big of a risk so long as you have the boost to get back. For example, Toasty here, he's running back, but it's going to be okay because he gets the touch and can control it well. And that type of aggression is what you're going to need to break down the FaZe defense.
Yep, Toasty on that push, knowing he's third man. Lets FaZe take it on the side wall. He can grab that midfield boost and protect the back. Gimmick doing a great job on the same, but he's got no boost. Typical steals the ball to commit from Axel. More pressure here from FaZe. It's missed, waits. Eventually get a 50, but not maybe the one he wants. Now Axel, they're starting to get more comfortable in this FaZe rotation. First Killer slows it down and gets over 2, forces Toasty to make the play. Does to the corner, but that allows First Killer to come in. Typical right behind him. FaZe continue the push on offense.
One player I wanted to highlight in particular here from this Team Axel is, of course, going to be the veteran Gimmick. I mean, I was looking at the replays, watching some of the series that they had in the Swiss stage to get to this point, to make it to the quarterfinals. And Gimmick, he was putting in so much work, a lot of effort on his part to create opportunities. And when you talk about somebody who's getting aggressive and is willing to push forward and steal boost, Gimmick comes to mind. I mean, that player, this man alone, is not scared to confront and get in the face of FaZe.
Axel have done an excellent job on defense. parrying the tries here from Faze, but they slow it down. You saw him get bumped, and a quick shot, but Toasty quick onto the ball. Axel had been able to get into the thirds, deny Faze any real threatening shots, and it's a pass to nobody. First killer ends up giving up possession.
Some demos.
Has a million down, and they tie the game!
That's what I'm talking about. Torby, this is what I'm talking about. One player does all the dirty work, and it's gimmick. You take out Mist, then you hunt for Typical. You don't get the demo, but you punch him out the way instead. And that is how you create an opportunity for your teammates.
It really looked like the start of this game was going to go how everybody expected it to go, which is Faze, a ton of offense. They shoot more than any other team other than Gen G. They score more than any other team other than Gen G. They're just, and they're one of the best defensive teams as well. It's just not much you can do against this Faze team most of the time, and you heard Gibbs talk about it. They don't lose to teams like Axel.
Right.
But Axel, they're fighting back, and we'll see if it's enough for them. They're able to tie the game. How to Faze mix it up. He gets a loose ball. Oh, it's off the bar. First killer doesn't miss those.
Crossbar coming in clutch for Team Axel. What a save. And what a touch from the crossbar. Ridiculous. Unfortunate miss for first killer. He's gonna want another look. What is this shot? Toasty. Are you kidding?
Oh, first Ajax launches it downfield. Typical was from his own corner, and Mist tries to go back. He thinks at least Typical's gonna get a touch on that ball. I can play the challenge off the ceiling. I can turn around. He's coming back towards net, but Toasty just straight up shot it on target. There was no way he was making the save.
That angle looked impossible. If you're the player going up for that challenge, there is no point in even covering that side of the net because you don't think there's a chance that that man can actually put it on target. But somehow he does. They got the leading goal. 5 seconds left. Just got to waste some time, but that's a big clear down the other side. Typical. He could have hit it. It was on target. Missed the follow-up off the crossbar and out. And it will drop to the ground. Team Axel will hold on and take game one.
Well, well, well. Oh, the welterweight comes in and jabs the heavyweight a couple of times. Axel, wow.
They didn't waste any time. They didn't waste any time.
And that's after going down. Down early, 2-0.
I want to see that a goal again. That's all I want.
You were talking about Gimmick Turtle, and we're going to see it in the replay, getting the big demos to open up the goal for Toasty. But then at the end, Faze had chances. First killer missed off the bar. It was about as open as he got.
That doesn't make any sense. That literally makes no sense. My brain cannot compute what I just witnessed. It doesn't make any sense. Like, you should not be able to hit that goal. And somehow he defied this game and put one of the most ridiculous shots I think we've seen all day. And that's got to be a boost of confidence. If you're hitting shots like that, you're getting gimmick, to your point, Jorby. You're getting gimmick, being aggressive, getting the bumps. And I'm happy to see that he hasn't backed down, because you make it to this spot, you've got the pressure on you. You can feel the tension and the pressure to change your play style, be a little bit reserved, but Gimmick has no hesitation, and it's because he's been here before and knows how to take these wins.
Well, 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 we have ourselves a match. Faze, it's up to them to respond, and it's a quick pass and goal for Mist.
FaZe Clan consistently starting out on the right foot, finding their groove early off the sidewall. First killer, I don't know if he pre-jumped, but he was so early to get that pass back into the midfield, and they're hungry to get some redemption after they probably feel like they got robbed from game one.
Power shot from Mist, 122 kilometers per hour. A heater for sure. First killer now lands on the reset. A stealing into flip reset, sets up the 50 for Mist. Off the backboard, off the bar. It's difficult denied, and it's headed the other way.
Oh no.
First killer's gonna get there, and they have to pull off the play. Toasty will steal the boost for the effort.
Battle of who can overextend better. And so I talked about it in game one. Team Axel were more than willing to send the whole entire team, the whole house. And just off that play alone, you can tell that so are FaZe Clan, willing to send everybody, no matter what it takes, to get that goal.
He's trying to get set up. First killer gonna wait for Gimmick's touch. And the ball by himself, or will he? Gimmick outdoes him! Ajax ties the game!
You've got to get in front of Gimmick. This man is going to be the MVP for Team Axel if they take this game, if they take this series. Look at the work he's putting in. Nice pinch across, and such a difficult read too, but he had a player in position and a quick tie up. Not even a minute in, Jordan. We've got a lot of action.
Just wondering about first killer's positioning there. He's probably thinking Gimmick plays it hard across the side, but he puts himself on the floor. to pop that ball and then maybe get a quick counterattack out of it. Gimmick recognizing that situation and able to pinch it out. He got a wonderful touch on it. First killer in the spot. Most times you see first killer come up with those, but now in game one, we see first killer miss one on the bar, and Gimmick outplay him on his own back wall. Axel finding ways to create opportunities themselves. That's a loose ball in front, but Ajax gets in the way. Toasty's only got 14 in the tank, and the rest of Axel also boost hungry, Gimmick the only guy who's left with boost, and he gets weaved around. First killer on top, got typical. All full team effort here for Faze.
Defense really in a blunder here. You can tell that Gimmick was trying to dodge the demo, which he did so well enough, but then as he's recovering, it seemed like he also had one wheel fall off the crossbar, threw his positioning way out of whack. Because of it, nobody was able to get a good follow-up or at least challenge that shot. FaZe Clan, while they were able to miss, I guess, a couple of shots in game one, they've come back more consistent than ever in game two.
Ajax gonna follow in here behind Gimmick. Toasty, second man, loses to first killer. Puts the ball. Trying to protect the ball on the back. They do find Gimmick to force FaZe back. Quick outlet pass here for Axel. They have the midfield line, but no, they actually pull off here. They'll let Mist take it. Ajax just took too low of a line, but Toasty has the ceiling read. Try to get it on the reset, force the 50, up high on the board. Gimmick.
Oh! Miscommunication out of FaZe Clan. You'll see Mist and Typical both jumping for this same ball. I think Mist assumed that Toasty was going to get a flip reset with all that space given to him. And after one double commit, it's already tied up. FaZe Clan's the defense a little bit out of shape whenever they get put under a lot of pressure.
Axel able to respond every time FaZe have an answer. They're not letting them pull away.
Right. Ajax,
hard shot. And he knew he had some length in there. Toasty was causing some chaos with all three FaZe defenders. Again, Ajax pops it over, and Toasty avoids the bump from first killer, gets the clear. Can't quite get the 50 against Mist, but Gimmick, it allowed him to get set. Now the rest of Axel gonna rotate in behind Gimmick. Deep third is Toasty on the left side. He'll have to handle Typical's clear, and he's got it. This is Axel controlling the game right now. FaZe forced to respond to these clear attempts. I'll let them come in this time. This might be the chance for FaZe. Ajax has to get a solid touch, and Gimmick will sit right there to get it over Mist.
And look at Gimmick. He's always in the spot to receive a clear. There's not one unanswered clear that goes forward for Team Axel. Even when he's behind the ball, he's still going to try and challenge it. He's taking the midfield boost. He's causing so much chaos with his aggressive turns. Like that win right there, that is huge for Team Axel. It alleviates pressure. It's going to set up an opportunity, and a pass in the midfield. It was all connecting for Team Axel. The only thing they missed was that accurate shot.
Gimmick, first killer, he had to turn the opposite way to make that 50 happen, but that's Toasty with 7 boosts, and he just missed it on the reset. Gimmick tried to help. Ajax, last man back, knows he's got to protect the net. First killer passed, shot off the bar, and then Mist makes it happen. FaZe got the lead back.
I thought for a second we might see that crossbar come out as one of the best defenders for Team Axel, but FaZe Clan have found the accuracy, and it was a really heads-up play for first killer not to take the early shot from the midfield and decide to pass that across, because we had Ajax rotating in. If first killer decides to go for that shot, surely would have been saved. So very smart, good awareness, and FaZe Clan consistently hitting their marks whenever they're given opportunities, but the defense, that's where things have been struggling for them.
All right, have been able to respond to FaZe every time so far, but here they come again. Shot denied. Ajax, he has a lane. Gimmick clears some more for him. Now he's got the ball. He's got Toasty on the wing. He lets it go. The 50's gonna go back to the corner. There's time here for Axel to get this goal back. Gotta be careful about how you approach on defense. Typical pulls off on the 50. He keeps it locked in midfield. First killer had Gimmick chasing him from behind, but he's gonna get the win. Typical close to the ball. Double kill! Oh no, that had a blue trail on it.
Oh no.
We'll get credit.
Toasty got bumped into the shot. First killer went forward, bumped Typical, then Typical hits Toasty into the craziest own goal of the day. A very unfortunate situation, but it was created by FaZe's pressure, and that's gonna alleviate a lot of that doubt in their minds on whether or not Team Axel can come back, because they've got that security.
Double hop here for Ajax. Axel Creates some more magic on Aquadome. Pot shot. 2 commit from Faze, but nobody's going to follow it up because, I think, who was it? It was not Gimmick, Toasty who got deleted, but he's back in the rotation now. First killer caught Gimmick jumping, and that will likely do it for game number 2. Faze respond against a flurry from Axel. I don't know what's going to happen here in game 3. Faze have a chance to pull away in the series as they take one more for the road just to put an emphasis as they leave Aquadome.
I think this speaks to the recovery that Faze have made on offense. I think in game 1, the opportunities were there, but I wasn't too impressed with the execution. And there's no doubt about it in game number 2, whether or not their execution has found their top form, because they're hitting every shot. Even that double tap there speaks a lot to the confidence and the mechanics that are coming out now after the game 1 warm-up. And Team Axel, I mean, there wasn't too much to harp on with their defense. It got a little bit unlucky with, of course, that Toasty pool shot where he scored on his own net. Not too much he could have done in that situation. And they were doing good with the aggression, using Gimmick up on offense, getting demos, going for some unique shots. But at the end of the day, just not enough to overpower Faze Clan.
Yeah, near the end, Faze started paying a lot more attention to Gimmick down the field. And
you got to be cautious of him.
Yeah, First Killer in particular was able to start dodging those demos, and sometimes when you go for those, it can actually put your team in a worse position. So Accelerate, they got to be, or excuse me, Axel have to be careful about how they utilize those demos, because it's a great way to try to break down Faze's defense. But we're talking about Faze, one of the best offenses in Rocket League.
Oh yeah,
and they'll always find a way to punish you on everything, no matter how close you make it look. So strong individually, and as a team, even stronger. But Axel, they've answered the call today, Turtle, where, what was it? Almost 70% of chat voted for Faze. Stacks, he apparently smelled what you were smelling.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
this one was going to be a little competitive.
There's something in the water, man. I don't know what it is. I'm not saying that Axel are going to come out here and take the dub, because Mist is on the field, and he's a player you need to be ready to handle. And it doesn't look like Axel are quite prepared enough, especially with that illusion thrown at the backboard by his teammates, Typical and First Killer.
Mist scores again. He was the goal scorer in game number 2 as well.
I mean, if you're talking about how good Faze's offense is, Mist, he's like the pillar for everything that Faze Clan do in my mind. I think about this offense.
That's kind of how he's like molded himself as a player.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he kind of started that back when he played for Envy, and T-Bates called him the machine. Like, Mist was kind of the center of all of that. So no surprise that he comes on to Faze and proves that he really is that type of player.
So consistent, always in the proper spot. His decision-making, top tier in North America. Now he's going in. He can show you up with some mechanics. The decision-making's there, but he says, wait, please stop talking about my decisions. Look at my mechanics instead.
And Ajax, he tries to get to the side. He comes in, rotating in his second man. Gimmick in his first, but Mist took to the sky, took the corner option away from Gimmick. Ajax, he cuts too far into the corner, so he has to turn back around towards the net. Mist has too much velocity going lateral. And Gimmick, there was just no chance after his by his 2 teammates that he gets that save. Mist had a great carry, good double.
One thing that Team Axel were doing great in the previous game towards the first half, they kind of slipped up towards the second half, but in that first half of game 2, midfield boost was totally in their control, and that was mainly, of course, because of Gimmick. We're going to keep saying his name because of a lot of the chaos he can create. And I don't really notice the same thing. It looks like Faze Clan are more cautious of the boost. They're trying to take the corner of Team Axel and also control the midfield boost more, because it's just that important. It fuels First Killer. It fuels Typical to do what they do best. That's been a big factor. Ajax might be able to create something off the backboard. Won't find what he's looking for. And now we've got a 2v1 situation. First Killer maybe would have gone for the bump had he given more time. But instead, we're going to see Team Axel hold off.
They do get out. Good carry from Gimmick. But your carry doesn't really mean much if you don't win the 50 that comes right after it. First Killer, he drops that ball off, goes for the 50 instead. Missed another high ball, knows he's gonna catch. Axel out on the rotation, trying to pull Toasty out. He did, and now Toasty's got control. He's got the reset, but he misses again. A couple of reset tries for Toasty. The first one, he didn't have enough boost to make contact again. That one, just couldn't make contact.
Of course, you're going to want to have to hit those, or at least be more consistent with your mechanics, especially given how strong and sturdy this FaZe clan offense and defense has been after game number 1. They've got their work cut out for them, Team Axel. They've got to take the dub here and go on to win the event. It all starts with FaZe clan. How do you stop these guys, though? Mist, it's so calm, collected, the composure, going for a solo play. It doesn't look like they're being as aggressive and instead trying to contain and control Team Axel on defense, and they're going to get a goal and result.
Axel could never really get settled on defense here.
Yeah.
Watch second man rotate in the corner, and they always end up behind the play. And there's never another layer behind second man. There's not enough time for third man to get back and rotate on this tight defensive posture that Axel keeps being pushed into. And that's a difficult spot to be in. And the second man positions for at least a neutral 50, and they're not getting any of them. You gotta find a way to maybe pull off a little bit.
Oh, that's it.
Get the bump, and Gimmick will get the goal. Toasty getting physical in the box.
Yeah, the bump through Toasty. He went up for this touch, which kind of acted as a decoy because he got no power on it. And I think that was First Killer on the backboard who expected some kind of touch, some kind of power. But as that fake came through, Toasty's able to recover, well on the ground, go for the bump, start things off in the second half in favor of Team Axel.
Well, not quite working out for Axel. Ajax couldn't get a clear out. First Killer sees the path in front of him. And typical gets deleted. A lot of demos for Axel. I think they feel like there's one sure way they can get by this FaZe team. They're certainly trying, but for all of their demos, they're still playing defense.
Oh, and losing 50-50s like that one from First Killer. Then nobody's waiting to go for another follow-up challenge. FaZe clan, they might have just gotten scored on, but they're back in the half of Team Axel with a tight grip on possession, starving the boost from Team Axel, and truly making them hustle just to get up for a shot or even a clear that goes right back into the hands of FaZe clan.
High pop for Sipical, but Gimmick gets over him. First Killer. Nothing really to worry about. He gets downfield. Gimmick gonna force it across. FaZe have really killed that Axel momentum despite that goal.
Yeah.
They have been playing a lot on defense. 9 total shots for FaZe to the 4 on the blue side. Maybe they get something here. They are forcing FaZe to move off the ball. But then, like you were saying earlier, Turtle, it's the succession after that that's failing for Axel. They're not getting the important touches after they clear the path. And that just allows FaZe to take the ball right back. They will always find a way to swipe that ball away from you.
Well, it's going to be a lot more difficult to have somebody downfield to counter attack and capitalize off a good clear. And speaking about capitalizing, here comes Toasty. Was almost able to get past Mist. We talk about being that pillar of defense. He shows up huge and wins the 1v1. 14 seconds left. They didn't give up a goal. Didn't even let Team Axel get a chance within the last minute to try and tie things up. And they're going to continue to deny them. Game 3, all FaZe clan.
Okay, felt like FaZe started running away with that one.
Yeah, very dominant.
Axel really got to go back to the drawing board here. I think there are some of these plays where first man will leave the play and they will just go for bump. They'll go for a bump, they'll go for a demo to clear out space for the second man. And that's fine. That works. Like I was saying before, second man's not holding on to the ball. And it doesn't matter if you bump that first guy out. You notice First Killer, his adjustment this game, he sat so much farther off the ball and was willing to let them boom it. It's like, okay, fine. You wanna go for bumps and demos? I'm sitting back here so I can see the full field. Now try to beat me. Yeah. And they couldn't. First Killer, 4 saves by himself and putting on 6 shots, most on his team. And that adjustment absolutely helps out. Missed, obviously, with his 2 initial goals will certainly help keep FaZe spread out.
Well, and I think that's something that FaZe clan are comfortable with, putting themselves in that position of 1v1s. We saw even in the last few seconds there, Mist was stuck in a 1v1 and he held his own, held his ground strongly. So for FaZe clan, maybe they realize, okay, if we keep fighting for this aggression, we're just going to keep giving away more and more open shots. We want to have at least one player back. And by opting out of that aggression and trying to fight fire with fire, they are more confident in the 1v1 category when there's one third man back. And if that's okay with them and they're willing to take that risk, It's obviously and clearly working for them, so that's what they're trying to implement. It's worked out so far. Will Team Axel make an adjustment and try and back off? Maybe go for less demos, or like you said, Jorby, hold on to that ball if you're the second man and give that aggressor time to get the demo.
Yeah, I don't think it's have less demos. I do think it's about the positioning beyond the demo, beyond the ball.
Okay. Yeah.
That will help. That will help you in the possession game. But Axel just don't have that. You know, credit to Faze. They do a great job recovering from some of the tough situations that demos put you in, and the adjustments that we've seen, and kind of pull off on that rotation a little bit at times when they know they want to pull back and they know what Axel are trying to do. It's up to Axel now to figure out how they adjust. But, you know, I don't know if going away from the demo game is the answer. I just think it's everything that comes after.
Right. All about adding layers and layers to your approach on offense. Team Axel are going to try and create more layers in game number 4. You got to get through first killer to do that. They stop him in his tracks early in the midfield. This could lead to something. Toasty couldn't find the accuracy, and it's all the way over to Typical, who cuts in front of the last man, and he's got a free net.
Typical makes great work. This could have been a loose ball to third man for a shot, but look at him. He's looking back at the ball, and he just knows that 50's coming. He just flips towards it. Excellent job from Typical. Beautiful recognition and reaction.
A really tough play, too, for Ajax, because if you're the third man there, Typical wasn't lurking for too long waiting on that challenge. He pre-flipped into that touch to get around Ajax, who didn't see Typical at all in his POV, which just adds to the level of play that we're seeing. Follow-up shot after follow-up shot. Faze Clan, they are on a tear.
And Toasty was hoping Gimmick could get a touch there. He kind of got lost on the read. You saw Gimmick jump off the wall, boost around to try to read the touch off the corner. And he got completely beat by Mist over the top. That left his teammates kind of stranded and what to do. That first touch not coming out for Axel in the corner.
I'm telling you, Jorby, it's a drought for Team Axel in this boost department. Looks like they're trying to take the midfield boost as much as possible, but Faze Clan have been much more aware of when those boosts are spawning to rotate in for them. Of course, pick up the smaller mini pads. That's been a huge factor. Also, the communication. There was a double commit on the play. Gimmick and Ajax, I believe, both went for the same ball. Meanwhile, Faze Clan properly spaced out and looked to mount something, big fake, and we're back the other way.
See, there it is again. Ajax swings across, but he got a good 50 out of it. Now Toasty has the first killer, can't make it happen. Axel split the lead.
And this is what you wanted, Jorby. You've got Ajax looking for a demo, and then Gimmick also transitioned in, looking in for a demo. Toasty is going to keep the ball to himself as that third man in the situation and make sure he can glide it in, stay behind it, and that's the layered approach that we wanted to see.
Yeah, you love the control from Gimmick. It gave him the best chance for a fake, and he went low side on the 50, and it worked out perfectly for Toasty. But Typical, a quick reset, couldn't push the ball forward and down enough, but missed. Leaves it for first killer. First killer pushes it. He sees Ajax, though, stop boosting. And that will at least keep the ball close rather than it jettisoning the whole way to the orange half. Slowing it down. First killer filing in behind Typical. Miss getting a demo onto Toasty. They're going to be a little slow on the turnaround. Typical knows he's got a beat, and he gets another for Faze.
Typical, a highlight performance. Reads the side bounce perfectly, knows that there's space, and look at the awareness for him to realize nobody's going to go for an early touch or an early challenge, and as a result, he can keep that ball to himself and go for a flick in the left side.
Axel struggling now to keep up with Faze offense. They've had a couple of good looks, have adjusted. They've seen it on their last goal, and even here as Toasty tried to drill it out, but Gimmick had started boosting before that 50 comes out. And it's funny because had he sat in the same spot he was just at, he would have been in a spot to play that 50.
Yeah.
But he started boosting before the play developed, and it put Axel right back in the blue half.
Typical again, taking the midfield boost. He's the player I've been watching in this game. I think previously Mist was stepping up big time for his team, and first killer steps up big time on the goal line, gets the save, always making sure they can keep the security, that extra padding, and remain 2 goals in the lead. But what I was referencing was just how good and impactful Typical has been on this game alone, Jordan.
He's jumped for it, and just a little too fast for him. Ajax got the clear out. Toasty had a shot earlier where he
Comes
could have
again.
split the Faze defenders, and it would have been a goal, but
Yeah.
he was looking for a clear. Now a quick pass to Ajax, cut off immediately by first killer. Toasty, nothing for him. Faze get all set up and cozy in the blue path. This gets deleted. Typical tracking the ball. Cut off by Ajax. Axel starting to run out of time. They try to get started on offense, but there's missed again. Keeping the gate closed and opening the flood for on Axel's net. Faze up by 3.
And the communication, the execution is there as well. Typical was looking for a bump, forced his gimmick to go high, and what does Mist do? He goes low. 3-goal lead for FaZe Clan.
The nice thing for Axel here is they should score on this one. Because in the series so far, every time FaZe scored 2, Axel, 6 of their 7 goals have come after FaZe have scored 2. So here you go, Axel. You can split the lead right now.
The pattern is there. Right?
Pop up. Here's Ajax. Mist has to wait on the wall, and he went for the changeup, but it's denied. Mist loses the touch, but first killer's ready, and it's
Wide open.
net. Ajax ain't getting there.
Oh no! Oh no! Nobody clipped that. No, he doesn't want to see that again.
First killer.
Oh no!
He's playing for time, Turtle. He wants to end the
Exactly.
game.
GG. To run the clock down. Put GG in the chat already with this.
Get me in my next match.
And the crazy thing is, it's really not going to matter with how dominant FaZe Clan have been. You miss an open net, it's fine. You've got an extra 3-goal lead. No worries.
I'm still convinced first killer did that on purpose.
Yeah. Sure, Jorby, sure.
He's like, end it. Let's end the series. Let's go to the semifinals, because right now FaZe are running away with the series. Axel made a fight of it early, but now it seems like there's no way out for them.
Yep.
One more to go for FaZe Clan.
First killer eager to get on match point. And while this series started in a way that we were all thinking, okay, Team Axel, you know, there's some sauce here. There's a good spark that they could continue on and maybe fuel something in the future, but immediately denied and rejected by FaZe Clan because of their adaptations on the defensive side, their ability to rotate in better, and just be more aware of what Team Axel are going to do, who have taken a timeout now as they get an extra 60 seconds to figure things out and try and adjust heading into match point.
I don't know what Axel can do right now, because the thing that worked in game 1 was it almost seemed like FaZe were surprised.
It was gimmick. It was literally gimmick. It was gimmick to me.
I feel you. It's gimmick for sure. But gimmick kept doing that. FaZe adjusted to that, right? And we've talked about that. But like now that FaZe have adjusted, do Axel have any more tricks up their sleeve? They don't have the same type of control that first killer Mist and Typical have. They just don't. FaZe are one of the best teams in the world, and they made one small adjustment, and Axel can't score. They can't even stay. They can't even stay on offense. They can't hold on midfield. They can't do anything. Personally, I don't know. I don't know if Axel can do anything.
It's so hard because there were moments where you saw the change that FaZe Clan had made, where they realized that Axel were going to be and playing as aggressive as they were, so they pulled back a little bit. I saw Mist rotating slightly deeper as the third man, and there was even one moment I distinctly remember where Ajax got a good interception on the ball. But it just gets given and smacked right into the hands of FaZe Clan, who are anticipating Team Axel to be as aggressive. So this might be just one of those classic situations where you can try and tell them to pull back, but that's what's been giving them life. So I'm kind of there with you, Jorby. It's what reaction and what changes can they make?
But
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
You could try to slow things down, but you're not going to out 1v1 first killer.
Yeah,
you're not going to out
slow
1v1.
I feel like that's the only way you can beat FaZe if you're winning the challenge game. One way you can win the challenge game, maybe you can pull off, maybe you can trap the balls in the corner.
Right.
But I certainly wouldn't bet my chips that I would my team is going to trap the ball in the corner again if I'm playing against FaZe. Being a team like Axel, it's tough.
Oh, we had to show that replay.
I know we are we're kind of spelling Axel's doom at the moment, but on Wasteland, FaZe, they don't lose to teams like Axel, and I think they've shown you why in the last 3 games. It only took one adjustment so far. What do Axel have in the tank? We'll see what they can do. Gimmick.
There's got to be something that we haven't seen before out of Team Axel right now. Like in this game, to win this series, we have to see some type of pop-off from any given player. It could be Gimmick, of course, it could be Toasty. I'd like to see Ajax come through, but there's got to be something special that we have not seen out of Team Axel. Just because of what FaZe Clan are showing and what they're throwing at your net. It's a team pick. They're still coming in with shots.
Look, I don't care who it was. I'm sad that didn't go in, because now I don't get to know how fast it was.
Yep.
I just needed that one. All the other ones I don't care about.
Bias caster, Jorby, this is unfair.
Gimmick's got a loose ball, though. Toasty gonna file in behind him. Hot shot may set this up, but Toasty can't go. He sees the control. Axel doing okay in the challenge game. See, first killer and missed. Sitting so far back. Gimmick.
Okay.
Get it over missed. He gets bumped. First killer, he wasn't even in the area of Ajax's attempted bump, and they get put back to the blue.
And that's the change that they've made. First killer in that position. If this was game one, first killer would have been a little bit closer to the ball and would have probably gotten bumped because of the opportunity presented to Team Axel. But he's playing more passive. He's on the backboard. It's harder to bump him, and that means he can get a better challenge. Speaking of bumps, here comes Typical, knocks out the midfielder. First killer going in by himself, but of course you've got Trusty missed in the backfield to go in for a 1v2. What? This man, he's all by himself, and he makes it work.
There might as well not be a defender in net. It looked like it went through his car. Gimmick jumps for the flick, and it bounces off the post into his car, into the net. The series started with Mist forcing Gimmick to own goal, and it just may have started the end with Mist forcing Gimmick to own goal. But Gimmick might get it back. Does he get the bump? Nope, first killer's there anyway. Even if he gets the bump on the sip, it doesn't matter.
All right, Team Axel. Honestly, I don't know what to incorporate at this point. It's so difficult up against FaZe Clan. Maybe the bump almost worked against first killer. Typical is about to get bumped by Ajax, who can't find a piece of him. And they are scrambling, Jorby, quickly to figure things out, because this is their chance at making the major. Their chance at proving everybody wrong, proving the haters wrong, and coming out on top.
No boost, that means no control for Axel. It's a decent 50, but Axel, we're all rotating back on the boost. They're gonna need a couple more 50s like that to really get set up. See why. First killer right into Sip on the 50 and forces two to have to commit for the save. Toasty comes back up, got that one, missed.
All right.
Now he's left off, and Ajax has no boost, but he gets the 50. Here comes Gimmick in front, taken away by first killer. Toasty's next up, but he has to respect. Typical, he jumped in front of it, and Toasty just immediately left. He didn't want anything of it. First killer is bumped, forces himself back into the ball. Typical, quick pass to Mist, and he misses contact.
So he does off the backboard. He goes from the ceiling down, saves his flip, found the angle, but it was too slow, and Gimmick says, I've got you red the entire way. And now an open net he can look at. He's gonna find it. This one slipped in, a lapse in rotation for FaZe.
Happens here, Typical's going to get the corner boost, and Mist just doesn't get to 50. He's got to come up with that. Gimmick had great control. Mist is thinking he's still coming around it. He probably thinks the ball's ahead of him a little bit. Gimmick was well shaded behind the ball from Mist's perspective. So Mist, he takes the upwards angle rather than the lower angle on the ramp, and he gets burned for it.
A big punishing goal from Team Axel. They needed that, of course. Now with under 2 minutes, they can take a big breath and hopefully try and throw something creative at the defense of FaZe Clan, throw them off. Otherwise, I don't know if we're gonna get another mistake out of them. First killer, the follow-up off the crossbar and out. Typical doesn't have the angle. Team Axel are holding on for their life.
Typical ran out of boost and had to jump pretty vertically to take that shot. It's gonna be tough to get power on it. But first killer off the bar.
Double
Here
tap.
comes another double. Mist is it. First killer puts it up. Toasty just has no reach and can't get the clear. Gimmick helps him out, and Ajax makes it an orange ball for first killer, or for Mist, excuse me.
Big shout out to Ajax. He's almost taken that aggressive role. He's winning so many 50-50s, taking a lot of the boost, and he has been very consistent for Team Axel to keep things tied up here. I said I wanted to see one of them step up and start to pop off. He might not be too flashy at the moment, but he's putting in a lot of work to help out his team on the defensive side.
Axel have kept this game tied, and they've had a couple of transitions. They're getting to these 50s now.
Much better.
They don't have the amount of space that they did before.
Look at Ajax go.
Ajax in the 50 again.
So strong, so fast to get up against FaZe Clan, and now he's got some space. What's he gonna do with it? He looks for Gimmick all the way on the right side, who now has some space to himself, gets a 50-50 win, but his teammates are pushed back. That's probably a smarter choice. It's the last 30 seconds. Last thing you want to do is give up a mistake and let Faze Clan take the win.
Gimmick is playing deep. Now he's got the ball. Toasty just driving into the net.
Oh! Axel aren't done yet! Typical was alone on the backboard. He had to dodge a demo. He didn't have any boost. Went for the pre-flip. Misses by a few centimeters. And that's all it takes to get Team Axel in the lead. 10 seconds left.
Effective physical play. Oh, wait, there's another one!
Another one.
And it's taken away. Faze, do they have a chance to tie this one up on Wasteland?
That's got to be it. That's got to be it.
Just got to kill the ball. There it is. Axel take the series to Neo Tokyo.
That is incredible. The start of this game was very rough for Axel. It looked like Faze Clan were getting in a lot of comfortable 1v1 situations, and like we discussed, Jorby, if you put Faze Clan in a 1v1 against pretty much anybody, you would expect Faze Clan to take the win. But Team Axel still held their own, and I gotta give credit to Ajax getting up early, especially in the second half, winning 50-50s. He was playing such an important and impactful role to set his team up and be the pillar that Mist is for Faze.
Axel, we were both we were thinking about how Faze were playing in the last 3 games.
Yeah.
And okay, Faze making these adjustments. It doesn't feel like Axel have any real control or consistent possession in them. But then they come out, they win that midfield boost battle, and then they just start throwing themselves at the ball.
Exactly.
And if you can keep that cycle going for a long time, you can beat anybody. And Axel, they were able to do it. I'm just wondering, Turtle, I feel like this type of play, it's hard to keep up.
It's very
hard. Head to Neo Tokyo, Axel are gonna have to be perfect again.
It's gonna be really difficult, Jorby, because they're relying on Faze Clan to make those mistakes. If you think about the 2 goals that they got, one was a very big missed challenge from Mist, and I'm not sure how frequently that's gonna happen, given that he seems to be having a great day himself individually. And on top of that, Typical also missed the follow-up. Granted, he had no boost, but
he did get bumped. He Toasty forced him up early.
Right. Well, he went on the backboard too. If he even had maybe one small pad, I think he could have gotten the challenge. But still, those mistakes might be too far and few in between. But we'll see if that keeps coming out from Faze Clan. Team Axel have been consistent, but they've got to play perfect.
Well, Axel, regardless of who scores first in the series or in the game, they've been able to respond before. They can certainly do it again. Gimmick, a tough task. That was a hard ball, but he lands back on First Killer's attempted shot. Ajax, that's a good touch out to Gimmick, but he had no boost. That's okay. Typical had to respect it. Toasty, 50 to Gimmick. Gimmick, smart touch to the side of Mist. Ajax gets it over 1, but that's where the rotation broke down. Still, Faze gave him a weak touch, so the offense can survive. A demo. Leaves the start open. Toasty gets underneath it. Goal!
All of these decisions from Gimmick have been immaculate. Have you seen the work he's been doing in those corners? Not only does he get that pass across, but seconds before this play developed, he turned off the ball, took the boost, then rotated back in. Gimmick threading the needle where he can and giving his team the first goal.
Ajax didn't win the boost, but he'll take the ball. Missed. That's hard. Touching First Killer missed it. Gimmick happy for it. Allowed Axel to get set up. Gimmick is gonna chase Typical down. That's fine. You're deleted. Ajax, he sees First Killer and he immediately stopped boosting. Gimmick's got no boost back to his own half. He's happy he could just use the back wall to get the height. First Killer with control, goes for the bounce, makes it awkward. Toasty, see you later, tie game!
At first they equalized each other, both getting a demo, but then this one is gonna give the edge to Faze Clan because First Killer snipes him out of the air and missed. The easiest follow-up he's probably going to get all series long.
Axel, this time they got the first goal, and then Faze wastes no time getting it done.
Man, this is the momentum really has swung back into the middle. At first it was actually Team Axel who came out very strong. Faze Clan started to dominate in the middle of the series, and now it's kind of hit this lovely little middle ground, Jorby, where they're both fighting for middle and that midfield possession.
Faze still moved down the field. Axel was looking a little uncomfortable whenever they get on the defense. But look, the 50 game has been so different for them. They're able to stop them, but Mist gets a demo on the back end. First Killer gonna keep the touch close. Toasty stayed with him. We saw Mist, he actually left the play on that one. He's not really expecting that challenge to go anywhere from First Killer. And that's not something we saw from the previous 3 games. Axel didn't command that kind of respect from Faze. Because Faze were winning almost every 50 in the games that they won. But look at Axel now. Toasty winning that touch allows them to set up in midfield. First killer lost that midfield boost. He goes up for it, but now he's circling around for 2 small pads, and he double commits.
Oh my.
That leaves an opening for Toasty. A couple of chain dashes, pops it up. That looked good, but nobody can immediately go, and Faze gifted a 50 to break out.
Pressure looks like it's getting to FaZe Clan. A double commit, and Ajax is going for a bump on first killer, who doesn't have too much boost, but he's able to feather it and make the most out of it. Also take the corner, all tied up. Under 2 minutes remaining.
Toasty?
But maybe we get something special from Toasty. A gimmick follow-up, and it's not gonna go in. Team Axel hunting for this goal, trying to force game 7.
First killer gets bumped, and Toasty, at least it looked like it. I was looking at Gimmick's perspective. First killer gonna force Gimmick to contend for it, and he got the double. But the rest of FaZe are waiting for the touch. Now Mist is giving an opening, and nobody from Axel is there! Goal! Mist swipes, and FaZe have the lead!
Everybody from Axel bit at the ball a little bit too early. All 3 of them moving forward, anticipating a better challenge. All these challenges have previously gone in their favor, but not that one. And FaZe Clan, they punish.
It was all Typical. It looked, both players are looking at Typical on that play. They see him and the ball, they're like, okay, we're gonna go for that. But neither one of them stayed back, and Typical pulls off. Mist is like, oh cool, free shot, that's nice. Now FaZe in position to put the series away. But Axel lurking around. First killer, lost the touch. Mist is forced up on the play. Toasty sitting around in midfield with 50. He's rotated back. FaZe are starting to win those touches. Oh, Toasty doesn't come up with it. Now Typical ran out. He's got to leave the play, but FaZe have started wasting time.
But we do know that Team Axel can win those challenges, Jorby. Might be able to get something special here. Toasty, nice follow-up, finds Gimmick in the corner. Last few moments, last few attempts for Team Axel with their chance and contention for Major on the line. G2 fans are also worried too because, of course, if FaZe can win this, G2 clinches the Major. There's so many chances going in favor of Team Axel. Shot after shot denied.
Toasty has another one, but Typical has him beat. Nobody's back to defend. Missed head. How do you miss that ball? With a chance to close it. Toasty's got no boost though. First killer pushes it out to the side. Gimmick needs some heroics now. That's not the 50 you want, but he's got him downfield. Gimmick returns. Missed in the air.
Back it down.
He's got the touch over to the side. And that one around the entire Axel rotation. Valiant as they were, FaZe are just too strong.
With that win, G2 clinched the Major. Team Axel unfortunately sent home. FaZe Clan moving on to the semifinals. And that was a much tougher and closer battle than I'm sure a lot of us would have anticipated. A lot of credit needs to be given to Team Axel and the work they were able to put on the field, winning challenges here towards the end of the series, but ultimately falling under the pressure and the consistency of those shots from FaZe Clan, regardless of that one open net miss. Okay, we're not going to talk about that one.
The measure of consistency, Turtle, in your own words, missed.
Yeah.
It was the big one for me in that.
He's huge, man. He's huge.
You know, he came up with some massive touches. There was one save First Killer had. I don't know if we're going to see it on the highlights, but it was at the end of the game. Gimmick had the carry. He had First Killer, only guy to beat, and it looked like he might have flicked it over him.
Yeah.
And then he didn't. First Killer, he waited till the very last second to jump at that ball and make the save, prevent Axel from tying the game. This very well could have gone to Champions Field. Axel absolutely played their hearts out. And while you didn't beat FaZe, it's tough. You know, I don't think a lot of people gave you a chance to even win 2 games. So I think you got to hang your hat on
Gibbs literally said 0%. Okay, so
he did.
This is still a dub for Team Axel and a well-fought split for them, of course. And Jorby, I know we got some better matches up ahead.
Well, we got one more match, another first top 8er this split. The Pittsburgh Knights taking on Space Station Gaming. Find out that result after the break.